everybody, welcome back to the cockpit. Today we're in the Carbon Cub on floats, our Whipline 2100s, and we're going to a hidden location that we can go to in the seaplane that not many people know about, but it's now on the E3 SkyShare app. Some of the members put it in there. Check that out. No, there's a bunch of alligators right below us. Oh boy. All right, folks, so we're blasting out of South Florida. We just got over the lake here, Lake Okeechobee. There's a place we want to go check out we've never been to. Our members put it on the E3 SkyShare app. It's called the Treehouse. We talked to a couple members about it. They said it's a really cool place to go to. Of course, whenever we get out in the float plane, we like to do that. Take a little break from the aerobatic planes. Should be a cool location. It's about a 20-minute flight for us. Really beautiful flying day. Calm. It says the lake is flat calm. So that should be good. When we get up into the Lake Okeechobee area, we typically see a bunch of alligators and like great wildlife. This is such a great place to come to. So we'll see how that goes. And then it's a world-class bass fishing area. You can see right here as we're right off our nose coming up with one of the canals. We got tons of boats that are sitting right here. We're going to climb out just a little bit more. Get our vertical speed going. We got our autopilot going. Oh yeah, those are go-fast boats. Those aren't even bass boats. Those are just like hydroplanes with big engines on them. This must be a blast. See how beautiful it is out here today. So the location that we're going to, if you're looking on the E3 SkyShare app, there's a little island on the southeast corner of Lake Okeechobee. You can only get to this location either by a float plane or even an airboat or something. I'm not sure you can get in there with engines in the water and stuff, but
you're up for water landing.
We'll be able to get right up there with our pontoons. We'll put our water rudders up. We should be good. You know me. You've watched our videos. I usually use my FAA off-airport guide chart to measure out where I'm going to be landing, and we do that with the timer on our panel. I typically do 3 approaches. We already talked about that, and I'm going to talk about it more when we get close, but I know that the FAA teaches 2 passes, but when I'm doing float plane flying, where I am here, there's always stuff under the water. Logs, coconuts, alligators, a lot of grass and stuff, so I usually do a 3rd pass. My last pass, I'm usually tilt the plane a little, and I look really good. Hyper focus at the landing zone. And make sure there's nothing there. Now, if you're up north and stuff like that, and there's not a lot of that kind of stuff in the water, it's like nice lakes, and usually you don't have that problem. You can do your 2 passes. Anyway, I'll go through it more as we get closer here. Okay, so we see that our location is just ahead of us at our 11 o'clock. Again, this is called the Treehouse. Now, we're just outside Pahokie's airspace, so we're right on the edge of it. It's uncontrolled, so not a big deal, but they do some skydiving and stuff here, so we got to be cautious. Look at this lake today. This is absolutely beautiful. How flat, calm, even got slicks on the water that's so calm out. I pass at 1,000 feet. AGL is usually just an overall situational awareness, what's going on. Then I do my 500, and that's when I'm doing my typical pass where I'm inspecting the water, lines, poles, wind direction, all that kind of stuff. And then I typically do a lower pass. My 3rd one is hyper focused on the landing zone. There's no logs under the water, there's no coconuts in the water, there's no rocks or anything sticking out. That's why I do 3, if it's somewhere I haven't been before. If I've been there, I'll do 2. This lake at max is 9 feet deep, which is incredible. It's a limestone basin. And a lot of the edges of this lake is always like trees or something sticking out of the water. So I'm hyper-focused at this particular lake. So the Treehouse here is right off our nose, and it was made by the Airboat Association in the area, and it's out here in an island, and it's a treehouse built up into the trees, and it's made because if the airboaters or boaters and stuff need to get out of weather that comes in, we get some strong storms, there's a little shelter that they can get to. You know, it's a state park area, it's an island people can walk around. We can land in the float plane here and pull right up to the beach. Even though it's calm, wind's calm, even the panel here is showing wind calm. You can see slicks all over the place. It looks like there's a little bit of the wind from looking at the beaches and stuff here is coming out of the west. We're going to have to come over the trees, then land toward the west in this particular landing. Okay, so it's right off our nose. We're going to slow the plane down. We're going to get into a configuration to do our passes. So getting our 1 notch of flaps in. Then I'm just going to configure the plane with this configuration to do my passes. If I was measuring my landing zone, that's where I get my FAA off-airport chart guide out. I get my timer in place, time a pass, one of the passes. Here, we got about a 10-mile lake across here, so we got plenty of room to land the plane. It looks like we're going to be going towards the west, into the wind, so we're going to take the autopilot off here. And we're also, on one of these passes, I got to check the beach, and can we get in there, and what does that look like? That's what we're doing right now. Looks like we should have no problem getting in there. We can pull right up to a little beach there. There's a little bit of grass, not too shallow. The Treehouse is right here. This is where we're checking our gear configuration. 4 blues. In the mirror, on the pontoons, so we are good there. We're gonna do our pass in our landing direction, our second pass, and check our wind, make sure everything, we confirm it all. Our airspeeds are good, and let's go through the checklist for landing. We're basically gonna come this direction over the trees, into the wind. Now let's do a good inspection pass and look at the water here. So I'm gonna do a little bit of a slip, and if we come right over the trees and we land this direction, into the wind, into the water, should be good. Now, it's actually saying the wind's a little bit more from the north. So good that we did that pass. So if we were to change our direction, I'm gonna do that direction to see how I feel about that. That means this would be our direction of landing. And I see a little grass in the water and things there, so we're gonna have to keep it off the coastline here a little bit. And this would be our direction. Double checking our wind again, and that is right off the nose at this point. So now we're going to configure the plane for the actual landing. And our water rudders are up, mixture's coming in. We're going to get our second notch of flaps in. Let's get our power where we need it to be. Okay, so there is our second notch. And we can do a little high-speed taxi in if we need to, so we're not going to get too close to the coastline. Speed is good. Coming in with our last notch. Checking all our configurations here. Speed is great. We're on base leg. Trim is set. Get our direction here. Water rudder's coming down. Now we got water control, rudder control. That was so beautiful. Look how nice it is out here today. Now we're going to taxi back to the beach. We're going to get our ground idle in place here. Stick back, rock forward, lights. So as you can see, off our wing on the left, you got grass and sticks and stuff that are sticking out all over the place. So this is where we got to be careful. You get some sticks or trees or logs or something sticking out there. So that's why I was a little safer here and kept it way out off the coast. So we're going to do a little high-speed taxi here. So here we go. The rudders coming up, water rudders. So we see where we need to get in here. Now we just got to keep it nice and slow and watch our depth. It's not like we have a boat where we got a depth finder on here. We just got to watch this, keep our stick back, and then the water rudders are going to have to come up when we get close. If we're coming up to a dock or something, I've got everything off, all my seatbelt, helmet and stuff, but in this case we're just going to beach it, so I don't have to rush to do anything. Slow idle as possible, because if we do hit some ground, we don't want it to get up so far that we can't actually get it off. You know, you get it onto mud or something and it's sticky, it's hard to get it off. So we're looking pretty good. Looking pretty good. Here come the water rudders. Water rudders up. Shut down. Alright, so here we are. We're going to go check this place out and see how we like it. Alright everybody, so here we are. I can only get up so far obviously, but fortunately it's not very deep here. So I'm going to flip the plane around, checking for alligators, making sure there's nothing here. And again, that's why we also pull the water rudders up before we hit the beach. One, so we don't hit, but second, so that when we go to turn the plane around, we don't have to get back in there and get the rudders up. And that's also why I keep these lines on here. Something we can grab pretty easy to maneuver the plane around. And if I need to, I'll take this off, put it on an anchor or something like that. So before we head up here to this little fort, let's get the plane turned around, get it secured. Water is warm. So lift it up a little bit, pull it back. So pretty secure there. I ain't going anywhere. If I needed to, if there was a lot of wind and stuff, we'd pull the anchor out and get it all anchored up. Now, let's go check out this location. We've been wanting to get here for a long time. The Treehouse. We're in the middle of the Everglades, the edge of Okeechobee. And you can't get here unless you have an airplane like we do, an amphib, or airboats. You can get here and they can come up on here. But this is a cool little area, but it's on a state island here. The Airboat Society built it, so if they had to get out of storms and stuff like that, they could get here and get a little bit of shelter. Sign that obviously has been here a long time.
and you're entering a redneck area, you may encounter American flags, armed citizens, maybe like this, alligators and stuff, the Lord's Prayer and country music. So kind of a cool little place. People come out, do cookouts. You've got a screened-in area there. You got an outhouse screened-in area with grills and things like that. We can come out and make burgers and stuff. This is the actual treehouse that they built, obviously up. So if you get floods and stuff like that, this is up out of the water. We'll just take a quick walk around and show you what this is like. If you don't like moss, you might not like it here because there's about 1 million of them. You can see them all over the place here. As we go up these stairs, they'll probably swarm us. I guess you'd come out here and camp and stuff, but more you need a good screened-in tent. And then up top is a big deck, and there's nothing to write home about. It's just a really interesting place out in the middle of nowhere with 1 million moss. Now I don't know if it's like this all year round, but take a look at this. There's a ton of them. Another grill. You can sit out here, and again, you are off the grid, off the grid. Fortunately, in our Cubs, we have a Starlink satellite, so we get internet, but this is as off the grid as you're gonna get. Then they just got a little room here that if you need to get out of the weather, it's just a small little room. There's actually power out here with air conditioner. So a little room you can get into if you needed to get some shelter. Walk down around the other side here. That's just another little deck. So you can do a little family party out here for sure, minus the 10 million moss. So another little cool deck that looks out here. I mean, this could be a really cool place to do a little family party, picnic, meet up with a bunch of float planes and airboats. This must be the stage where the band plays. You got a bass drum here. Couple outhouses, which is cool. And then we're not gonna go walk around everything, but you can see the other outhouse and then a screened-in area that you can get in out of the bugs and all that kind of stuff. I know we talk about it a lot because it's on E3 SkyShare, this location, to come to in the plane, but if you're not right here and you're just sitting around outside or stuff, there's not a lot of bugs. Of course, we're always watching for wildlife and things like that, which is why we're all armed up. Hopefully we never need it. As long as we don't bother them, they don't bother us. Big alligators out here. I don't think they're gonna come up in this area. They're usually out in the water there. We finally got to show you guys another location on E3 SkyShare, the Treehouse. So we're gonna head back to the plane, jump in, and go off to another location. See any feel.
All right, hey everybody, welcome back in the plane. We're about to blast off out of here, but I just wanted to show you while we're here because we did our passes. You know, you could see all this grass and stuff here and some sticks coming out of the water and stuff. Now, when we were flying and doing the passes, that was not easy to see, but that's clearly an indication of some low spots, and then there's a little channel kind of going out here. So I could see some of it, but not to that extent. That's why I do a third pass really low. I tilt the plane a little, and I really look as close as I possibly can to that landing area. I was thinking of landing that. Now this plane will go right over it. That's not a big deal. Why do it? Look at that, another 20 feet out. You had clear water that we could land and then just do a high-speed taxi in. I just want to show you while we're on the ground because it was really hard to see it when we were flying. There it is.
Audio test, okay.
Audio test, okay.
All right, there's all our tests that have gone through. Do the checklist, we do a hot start, and we want to be ready because as soon as we start up, we pull the plane out just a little bit, so it's just on the beach kind of a little bit, so as soon as we power up, we'll pull right off here. Turn to the north because the wind's coming out of the north. We're going to come out here a little bit, take a right. Let's go ahead and get started up. We did all our checks. Water rudder is up right now. Okay, water rudder coming down. We're way off the coast. Pull back a little bit of the, get into a ground mixture, ground lean. All right, so everything is secure. Our seat belts, fuel pump, lights, mixture to go, prop full forward. Water rudder is down, so we got mixture to go and water rudder. 10 degrees flaps. We're ready to fly. Area is clear. Now you can fly with the windows open. You're not supposed to take off and land with the windows open. And I'm not sure you're allowed to have both windows open at the same time, but you can have one open. We're out in the clear here now. We're going to get in the direction of flight. Mixture's coming full in. As soon as I'm in the direction we want to go, water rudder's coming up. So now I got to use my rudder in the back. And here we go. Stick back. Here's the boost. And we're up on top. Left back pressure. I got rudder authority on the airspeed. What a gorgeous day. We are out of here. How gorgeous is that? Flaps coming up. And we'll do one more pass through the treehouse here. As we're climbing out, we'll get this pass in. There's a really good look at it right there. As we climb out of here. Beautiful day on the lake. So what an awesome flying day. The treehouse, that was a really cool location. I mean, it's days like this that make you appreciate being a pilot, being able to go do these adventures and stuff. I mean, flying around with no shoes on, pulling up to a beach, jumping off the pontoons into the water. I mean, it's just a blast. This plane is just awesome. And we got to see a really good location today. So we're going to grab our ATIS here because we're heading back into South Florida area. There is some storms. You can see on the panel here, we got a whole bunch of storms and stuff that are just south of the airport. So hopefully we're going to get in. We're about 15 minutes out. And right now we're over in South Florida. There's the sugarcane area here. This is all sugarcane. People are asking where's all the orange trees. Well, they're usually on the more towards the west side and a little bit north. Most of this side, southeast of Okeechobee Lake, is all sugarcane. So that's what you see underneath us right now. But we're 15 minutes out, so we will see you on approach. Everybody, hope you enjoyed that flight today. That was a blast. It was a great day. Nice to get out in your shorts and flip-flops, pull up some beaches. Love flying in days like this, although now we're in the afternoon and summer of South Florida and we got some storms heading in here. Go check out the E3 SkyShare app. All those locations that we've been going to lately is there. And please like and subscribe. Make a comment where you'd like to see us go to.
Joy Mike 42, hold short taxi Bravo.
We're going to shut down comms now. And thanks for coming along the journey with us.
Just north of runway 9.
So long.
Near the between